Hi, everyone. I'm McLean, your host for Tip Radio with IAOTP, the top industry professionals, where we showcase industry leaders from around the globe to share their stories of passion, resilience, perseverance, and success. We are so pleased to have with us today a very special guest returning back to the show. And he's all the way from Port St. Lucie in Florida, just around the corner from me, who is a leader and hero in the law enforcement industry. He has dedicated more than 4 decades of his life's work as a proficient officer of the law. From the Air Force to narcotics, special weapons, and tactics, chief investigator on several large multi-state organized crime conspiracy investigations, search and rescue, and now helping thousands of families, preventing their loved ones from wandering. He was just recently honored at IAOTP's annual awards gala dinner in New York at the Plaza Hotel for Top Global Impact Leader and Top Male Visionary of the Year. And this year will be honored at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville this December, receiving IAOTP's Most Inspirational Member of the Year and Top Military and Law Enforcement Hero of the Decade. Founder, CEO, and Chief Director General of Lifesaver International. Everyone, please welcome our dearest Chief Gene Saunders. It's so wonderful to have you with us, Gene.
Thank you, Michelle. It's great to be here and to talk with you.
You know, I got to meet you and your beautiful wife, Jean, and we had so much fun at the recent Gala Awards. And I noticed many people around us, they are so inspired by you. And, you know, just tell us a little bit about your inspiration and 4 decades of your life dedicated to the enforcement industry. You've really become a hero. Honestly, you're a hero to me. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, thank you. My journey really has not been, all that significant, at least not to me. Started like everyone else. Right after high school, I went straight into the military. Upon leaving the military, I had, several other employments. One of them, I was a professional musician for several years. I left that and went finally into what I really had been kind of looking at for some time, and that was law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So I stayed with the Chesapeake Police Department for 33 years. I retired there as a captain in 2001. But just prior to that, I had gone with the Chesapeake Sheriff's Office as a volunteer with their search and rescue, commanding it. Well, just prior to my retiring from the police department, I founded Project Lifesaver. That started taking more and more of my time, and it was very satisfying. So I think I was ready at that time to pull the plug on police work as far as a day-to-day activity and go into Project Lifesaver full time and just see where it would take me. And I've been doing that now for 25 years, and I liken it to many times to people I'm talking to that I had a horse in the barn and it got out and I'm still chasing it. So that's pretty much, my life story.
Well, I love that sense of humor of yours. You really take it in your stride, and you're so humble about this. But tell us a little bit about your work with a Project Lifesaver and making sure that people have peace of mind when it comes to their loved ones and the circumstances they find themselves in.
Well, when I was in the police department, I had the privilege of commanding the Special Operations Unit, and part of that was search and rescue. And it became apparent that we were having to search for more and more Alzheimer's patients that had wandered off. And I just felt like we were not doing a very good job. Well, for one thing, we knew nothing about really searching for Alzheimer's patients, so we're using the old tried and true SAR methods. I guess the more we failed at finding them, or finding them before something tragic happened, the more frustrated I became. I was able to come across, the wildlife tracking aspect and able to adopt that, or I guess maybe transpose it from animals to people. I kept reasoning that if we can do this with animals, and we do it with animals, why can't we identify people that are at risk and give them something where we could get on them quickly before something happens? And anyway, 25 years ago, I was able to get it started with the help of a grant. And it's probably been a very well, not probably, it has been the most satisfying thing I've ever done. There is nothing like saving a life or getting the feeling that you had something to do with saving a life. It's a feeling that never goes away. It is probably the greatest satisfaction a person can have, but inner and outer. So that's probably been my journey. And then, just spreading the word. As I said, the horse is out. I'm still chasing it. Spreading it. It has now grown to all 50 states, 9 provinces in Canada and Puerto Rico. We were working with Australia. So just the growth of the organization and seeing how people have accepted it because it works and it's simple, and being a part of it, it has been probably, my journey. And I'm hoping it continues for a whole lot longer.
Well, no doubt with your energy and passion, it certainly will. And yeah, as I said, so many of us met you again at the gala dinner in New York recently in December. And, you just showcase what it really means to be an IAOTP professional member in terms of sharing your knowledge with everybody. So thanks for joining us here today, because it's important for not only people outside there in the world to see, but for our own professionals to recognize that someone like you has, stood the test of time and still continue to do what you do. So, in saying that, throughout your illustrious career, you've won numerous awards and honors, featured on news outlets, TV shows, Discovery Channel, FBI Files, and featured in magazines. And last year, you were recognized with IAOTP's, after numerous years in a row, now receiving their Man of the Year, Lifetime Achievement Award, Hall of Fame, Top CEO of the Year. You appeared on many billboards from Times Square to Las Vegas Strip, and you graced the front cover of the Tip magazine multiple times. You were also featured at IAOTP's International Bestseller Top 50 Fearless Leaders publication. And that's the first edition of the Top 25 Global Impact Leaders. So congratulations. I mean, you've got a long arm of accolades here, and impressive and well-deserving. But what would you say, after all of these achievements, would you say is your highlight of your career?
I have been very fortunate in receiving the awards. Not to get off topic for a moment, but I think it has to be remembered. I'm only here by luck and the grace of God. And it takes more than just one person to do what we're doing. So any awards that I have received or may ever receive are the work of a lot of people, not just me. I am privileged and honored, to be able to step forward and accept them. But it is the work of many, many people. Nothing is a success unless you can get people to buy into it. And many have. What the greatest thing or achievement for me was the very first person I rescued with Project Lifesaver. That is something I will never, ever forget. That was where all the naysayers were proven wrong. It was a tremendous sense of satisfaction, a tremendous sense of accomplishment, and the fact that we brought this person home in 1.5 minutes was just astounding to me. That was, of all the things that I have ever done, that was the pinnacle of what I have done in my life.
I can sense that. I'm actually getting goosebumps because isn't that the sliding door moment in our life when you just recognize what your life's passion is going to be? And you know, just talking about that, you've written books, as we said, you've been on TV shows, you're also a speaker. Um, do you find that that part of your life, being an educator, spreading the word is important to you, and does it play a big role in your success?
Yes, I do. I think it's important to, or for people to know that when they're dealing with such things as Alzheimer's or autism or all these things and the wandering issues, there is someone or something out there that can assist them. All is not lost. There are people that care. Their local law enforcement, their fire department, their search and rescue, and they care enough to take that step further to make themselves more efficient, more available, and more responsive to these people. Uh, and I think letting everyone know that it's there is important, uh, because you can have the greatest thing in the world, but if nobody knows about it, what good is it?
So
So
true.
that's kind of where I stand on that.
Oh, I totally agree with you there. And talking about, you didn't only roll this project out in the United States, but also, if I remember correctly, Puerto Rico. Would you say that there are many other countries around the world that do not have the rescue resources like America does? For instance, back in Africa, where I come from in Namibia, you know, the police force is, you know, really challenged, certainly the fire department, and for them to use that resource to go and find a person wandering around is a huge ask. So this kind of technology would be incredible to really roll out into the world.
I agree with you. Uh, yes, there are many countries that could use the program. The stumbling block, and not to be critical, is government regulations. For instance, we have had many inquiries from other countries, one of them being the UK.
Mhm.
The problem we have is that the way the world is divided up in the use of the radio frequencies, the frequency that we are most efficient with in North America and Puerto Rico and even South America, we can't use it in the UK. So if we could get past some of these government boundaries and some of these obstacles, we could move very rapidly into those areas. Um, but it's not that we're not trying. So we're not giving up yet.
Well, that's awesome to hear because I mean that is a stumbling block for sure. But I think maybe with the right resources going into certain countries that have a very high incidence, you know, an older population, for instance. There's, you know, Italy, there's Portugal. You know, I've done some research on, you know, the people that go and retire in those countries, even Spain. You know, would be an amazing opportunity. So we'll definitely be contacting each other about that because I'm sure that there are ways that we can promote that and all the good work.
Well, we're going to keep trying. There's one thing that a fellow that I admire very much. He was in the U.S. Army. His name was Hal Moore. In fact, if you've seen the movie, We Were Soldiers Once and Young, it was about him. One of his philosophies were, and I totally agree with it, no matter what is going on, no matter how many times you fail, there's always one more thing you can do. And we're going to keep trying for that one more thing.
Once again, I love your passion. It's always so wonderful chatting to you.
Well,
Gee.
it's tremendous talking with you, Michelle. It's been a pleasure.
Just some advice for anybody out there that wants to enter the law enforcement world, but also to be doing something like you are doing around the world.
Well, in this day and time, I would tell anybody that wants to enter law enforcement, do not take law enforcement as a job. Law enforcement is something you have to have some passion about. You have to really want to do it. It is challenging, it is hard, and it's getting harder.
Mm.
Don't take it because it's a job and it pays a salary. Take it because you really want to make a difference. You really want to help people. You really want to help your community. And the same thing goes with what we do in search and rescue. Don't do it because you think it's glamorous, because many times it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Do it because you have a passion for helping people. You want to help people. That's where it all comes from, even law enforcement. Have that desire. If you don't have that desire, find another job.
Yeah, we totally agree with you there. Now, just tell us the next steps for you and the family. Are you going to take some time off? Are you going to, what is next for you in the next, 1 year, 5 years?
Well, there's no time off in the foreseeable future. But, I go with that saying, when you love what you're doing, it's not a job. And I certainly, most definitely love what I'm doing. Now, will I take some time off? Come around the holidays, November, December? Yes. Yeah. My wife and I always take some time off, and we're very much looking forward to coming to Nashville. I've been to Nashville many times. I love Nashville. I don't know if you've been there or not, but I think if
Oh,
you haven't,
yes.
well, you know
Yes.
what I'm talking about. I know I'm talking to the choir. So those are the kind of things that I really enjoy, getting with people, getting with the other people from IAOTP. I find just talking to them and being around them is an education unto itself, with the different and diverse occupations and callings that they have. And I think you learn from everybody you talk to. I've certainly learned from talking to you. So, those are the things that I enjoy and I'm looking forward to.
Well, wonderful, Chief Saunders. Thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you. I agree with you that the IOTP professionals are just such an inspirational family. It's wonderful to be around, but you always are my highlight to see. So it's really, really great to chat to you today. Thank you for your time. And how would anybody else out there be able to get hold of you?
Well, you can go to our website, projectlifesaver.org, and just hit contact us. That's probably the quickest way, because I get a copy of every email that comes in, and I will peruse them, and somebody will reach out to you.
Well, Chief Saunders, you are hands-on as always, and thank you once again. We are
Thank
so
you very much, Michelle. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
have a wonderful time. Bye.
Have a great one.